There you go.
And we're live.
I think I'm going bald. My hairline's moving back.
Welcome to the Wit Grit Podcast live before the Divisional Round NFL games. How you guys feeling?
I'm excited. We get to watch Houston first again, so that's fun.
Texans always play first on Saturday. Why? Do you think there's a logistical reason why?
It probably is like viewership or whatever, like you said. But then again, it's Kansas City. So
I mean, they're inside, so it's not like a weather thing.
yeah, I don't know. It is strange though.
So yeah, it's Texas. You'd think that, a night game in Texas. What's wrong with that? Did Coyotes come out? Well, let's talk about that game while we're here. Sharp actions on the Chiefs.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
But so is the public. I mean, by a percentage. More bets, more money are on the Chiefs, but it's 55 and 51%. PRO system, though, would say back Elliott's side, the Texans, because you guys are going head-to-head on this.
That's right.
Let's go.
Yep.
It's called Bet Against the Public. 60% win rate, 15% ROI. So just betting against the public are clearly on the Chiefs.
Yeah, and I haven't really moved on that since we recorded on Thursday.
So you're still on the spread or just on them to win?
Yeah, spread.
Man, I still think that's a terrible idea.
I'll take the spread, but I think I put money on, put a full unit on money line, man.
Wow. You think the Texans are going to roll? He thinks it's a team of destiny. He's looking at the stats. He said 99 Rams.
I don't know that, and I don't know if Kansas.
It's a 15-2 team that has gotten healthy, and you're like, you know what? The Texans are going to roll them. So you're kind of
no. It's a pure gut, and I'm just sprinkling some change, or not sprinkling. It's a full unit, but I'm just having fun in the playoffs, like I said.
What was that, Sean?
I guess I'm protecting my feelings. If they do get blown out, it could happen. I won't be shocked.
Yeah.
But if the upset happens, I'm just saying that there are a few reasons that I think it'll happen.
It just, if you think it's going to be competitive into the fourth quarter, I just don't know why you wouldn't take the spread here.
Like I said, again, heads up with Sean, I'll take the spread just for I told you so rights. But I was just also itching to play some fun action. At plus 375 was. I'm at the casino nice. A little bit, rolling some dice.
You guys want to talk about some interesting anytime touchdown bets for this game?
Sure.
Xavier Worthy, I already bet it, plus 220. DeAndre Hopkins, plus 310.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, plus 1,200. Any of those interesting? ABC.
I would probably do a little, like a half unit on CJ, honestly, at that number.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one's not so much. I don't know. It's hard to trust any particular Kansas City offensive weapon. And I think in the playoffs, Kelsey becomes the safety net. So
I do. On Ian
Worthy.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's the one I've already bet in a 2-leg that we talked about on Wednesday. CJ Stroud exhibits a high scramble rate, dual threat capabilities, so there's an edge on this plus 1,200 number. So if you think the Texans quarterback is going to try to do everything he can and maybe even win, him running one in isn't it's not the craziest thing. People think of CJ Stroud in the pocket, but his numbers are closer to a dual threat.
Definitely.
Yeah. I heard something interesting about DeAndre Hopkins, and I think you guys, somebody look this up, whoever feels like they can look this up, but something about his contract might limit his snaps in the postseason. Weird. I heard with their other wide receivers coming back, they might owe more money to Hop if they use him too much. So DeAndre Hopkins might be a sucker bet for the public, because if you're not looking into this kind of contract stuff, you might think, oh, why would you not use DeAndre Hopkins in the playoffs?
Nothing that's jumping off at me just on a quick Google search. So I don't know.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly where I saw it, but I heard there's rumors that DeAndre Hopkins had been restricted in the offensive game plan because they don't want him to get to X amount of catches. So maybe something to keep an eye on, but definitely grain of salt information since we can't find a source on it.
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah, I don't know. This is the least interesting game of the 4, honestly.
Really?
In my opinion, yeah.
Hurt my feelings, dude.
Only one Elliot cares about.
Oh, no. I mean, go ahead.
No, go.
Well, I was going to say, transitioning to the Saturday night game, I'm interested in a Cinderella story for DC. I hate it because I grew up in the DC area, a fan of a foreign land, right? So I feel like everyone always took it, like went out of their way to pound it into me when the Bears were visiting or whatever. But ultimately, it's a cool story. I think if they beat the Lions somehow, just like catch them sleeping and uppercut a giant, that city will go insane, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then you guys would go insane. I think it's gonna be cool.
It'd be nuts. I mean,
that would be crazy.
The fact is, this team is a lot better with Austin Eckler active, and they got healthy in a lot of places that they needed to be. So, but the Lions are no schlubs, as you guys have been pointing out all week. When I've been trying to kind of hype, I mean, I already have half a unit on the Commanders at +9.5. I think they're going to keep it close, hopefully, because Jaden Daniels 5 games in a row has come down to the last play. So now I'm basically just making a bet to say he won't go from about to win on the last play to down 10 points. I just don't think it's that bad of a transition at the end of the game. That's kind of where my math is at.
Just a different team, the Lions.
I think the Lions will win, but I don't know if they're gonna stomp all over them. They might be saving some hats, some tricks up their sleeve for the NFC Championship at home.
But they got to get there.
Yeah, I'm just saying though that if they take like a 10-point lead on the Commanders and shut them down until the second half of the fourth quarter, they're going to just coast. Like they won't need to show too much. They might be able to just run at will. We talked about how the Commanders were bad against the run. They were able to stop Bucky last week, but David Montgomery's back. Jahmyr Gibbs has been the bell cow, and now he doesn't even have to be. So they can hit you with the 1-2 punch, Sonic and Knuckles, 1-2.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and I think they will. And then, of course, Laporta and Amon-Ra and just like everybody, all those JMO,
The defense is only getting stronger each week.
That's why I still feel really good about the number 1 seed teaser.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah. So that's definitely a play we're looking at. We might put that in a little bit. But is there anybody here that wants to try to put in a little bit of a money line parlay? Do we think we could get all the games right, or would we want to do 3 or 4?
I think you get all the home teams winning.
All of them?
Yep.
The Ravens could ruin that. All the home teams didn't win last week, did they?
No, the one of them didn't.
So,
no. But I think they will this week. Kansas City over Houston, Detroit over Washington, Philly over LA, and Buffalo over Baltimore.
I think you leave Buffalo and Baltimore out because that feels like the trap game of the weekend because they're so even. Like one key injury in the second quarter could change everything because it's a 1-point spread. So that's why I think it'd be easier to do a 3-leg if we did just Lions, Chiefs, Eagles.
Sure, I'll do that. Yeah.
What do you think, Elliot?
Well, he's already bought in on the Texans.
He's on the Texans.
No, it's a good hedge, though. It's a good hedge for me.
Yeah, because if the Texans don't do it, then you're kind of just leaning into
still alive
favorites
on
at that
this.
point.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But once it covers, it kind of just cancels out any of that Texans money I wasted.
Yeah.
But
or if the Texans money hits, you won more.
And winner chicken dinner. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's how they hedge them.
Is anybody afraid? That's pretty
Go ahead, sorry.
Is anybody afraid of the Rams?
I don't know, man. The Rams, this is kind of what they do in the playoffs. They just sneak around and knock out teams. It's kind of been their thing the past 10 years, feels like. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to do it this year. That Saquon Barkley is too much. That offense in Phillies is clicking. I think.
And we talked about how good Philly is at home.
Yeah, exactly.
In the divisional
line play
round.
has been really good. It's This is a Philly. This game goes to Philly.
I think LA's out of there. Let's look at the weather report for some of these games. Okay, so I found a weather report for the games. So just to go back through, Texans, Chiefs, frigid temperatures and wind. The Texans and Chiefs weather forecast takes the cake. Expected to drop to the high teens at Arrowhead Stadium, but consistent 10 to 12 mile per hour winds will also push the wind chill down to 10 degrees. So you've got the Texans, who usually play in a dome, outside in the coldest of weather in Arrowhead. Not ideal.
Yeah.
Rams, Eagles. We have a snow game on our hands. There's still time for this forecast to adjust, but there's a 70% chance of snow in Philadelphia on Sunday afternoon, with 1 to 3 inches possible as well. Winds are expected to get stronger as the game progresses. So if the current forecast holds, don't be surprised to see the over-under fall between now and kickoff.
I think both of the games tomorrow are going to have snow.
Ravens versus Bills is going to be cold, very cold. There's a chance of snow Sunday night in Orchard Park, as Sean alluded to, but the chilly temperatures are the biggest weather storyline for this game. Highs, yes, the highs will be in the mid-teens throughout the game, with wind chills dipping to single digits as well.
That's insane, man.
What a good time to be inside watching these games and not
I don't like standing still outside in those temperatures when I'm hanging with my dogs or walking around the block or whatever. I can't imagine playing football.
So that's what I think the Rams are not going to be. We talked about it. Matt Stafford in sub 40 degree weather. He's got 1 win this year, but overall a negative record. When you make it that cold and it's snowing in Philly, I just don't think he's going to be ready for that. He's playing
this team from LA. They're not going to know what the heck's going on, man.
Yeah, they don't even see snow.
Yeah. And just in that conference, and it's even that division specifically, they don't even often play cold weather games, really. I guess maybe late in the season they'll go somewhere like Green Bay, but not often,
Which quarterback do you want in the snow, Matt Stafford or Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts anytime, actually.
Hurts, yeah.
You were about to say Stafford, though.
No, I was thinking he had a cold weather experience in Detroit, but
that's true.
Jalen Hurts,
inside,
it doesn't matter.
Inside in Detroit.
Oh, inside, yeah.
Never good. He was never good outside.
But if you're in Detroit, you also play Green Bay every year, Chicago every year, and Minnesota every year.
Yep. This might be the safest game. Betting Philly, definitely to win, or even against the spread. I think this is the safest. I shouldn't say that, but it feels like the safest one, doesn't it?
Well, now that I know there's going to be a 70% chance of snow, I'm not going to put any more money on it necessarily on the spread, because that's going to make it just a little bit more unpredictable, if you ask me.
And
I'm thinking, yes, Philly could run better. Unless Kieran Williams
the thing.
Puts his name in the MVP discussion. Because
that's what it would take from them, because it's not going to be Kupp and Nakua, not in the snow.
If Cooper Kupp turns it on, I will be floored, because he caught 1 pass in the last game. 1.
Yeah, we know he's incredible.
Everything.
But still, it's if it's a snowy game like that, I feel like the Rams' offensive strength is Stafford, Kupp, and Nakua, whereas Kyren Williams is a nice compliment. But I don't know if Kyren can do 90% of the offensive work if asked. I'm not sure.
Let's see if the who's on.
But Barkley and Hurts can. If the Eagles lose their passing game, guess what? They're just fine. They're just fine.
Tyler Higbee is still injured.
They're so good. And I was such a moron in the beginning of the season. I was like, no, this isn't the team. I thought they were going to fire their coach, remember?
Eagles. Honestly,
it's AJ
Brown, Hurts or a Barkley
so
anytime touchdown. I feel like
that's what I'm saying. If it's a snow game, I don't know if you want to bet anytime touchdowns.
That's true.
This might be an ugly win. I still think they win it, but they're going to be running up and down the field.
Is there field goal attempts over under?
Oof.
Not field goals made.
Wait, what was the wind? What was the wind? Let's see. For that game,
you're the weatherman.
Weatherman. When did I become a weatherman? No, it's gonna be windier at the Chiefs game, and it's gonna. So here's the weather quick hits: Texans Chiefs, frigid temperatures and very windy, wind chill 10 degrees. Rams Eagles, 70% chance of snow. Winds are expected to get stronger as the game progresses. And then Ravens Bills, very cold, highs of mid-teens, wind chills in the single digits. So the Bills Ravens game is somehow the coldest game. Arrowhead is all right, and then it's escalator.
Yeah.
They add a new element for each game on the schedule as it is scheduled in time, 4:30 game, cold and windy. Eagles game, snowy, cold, windy. Bills Ravens, ultimate matchup. Single digit wind chill.
That's crazy.
So do you guys think the Ravens might be the biggest public trap of the week now with this wind and this cold? I mean,
I think the Bills have that.
Baltimore's cold. It's not Buffalo, New York cold.
No, it's not. It's not, and just they're not as used to playing in this stuff, man.
And you remember the 49ers game for the Bills?
What?
They destroyed them in the snow. It was like 34-6. They beat them bad. The Bills know how to move in the cold and the snow. It's not.
Oh yes, they do. No, it's not at all.
Dude, I think all these games are cold as cold level cold, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like once it's like -9 versus -18, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, that's true.
You're putting Vaseline on all your body parts.
What's it called? It's a cold snap still coming through again, right? Is it a second cold snap?
Yes.
The news said the cold snap was pretty much hitting everywhere in the South and over on this side of the coast, except for Southern Florida.
Oh, okay.
Must be nice.
Must be nice, Elliot. Must be nice.
Hey,
what are you wearing shorts?
I'm in joggers. Get the AC gets a little nippy in here.
I hate you.
Oh.
Welcome to Wit and Grit, where Ian, Sean, and Elliot break down sports betting, pop culture, or whatever's on their minds. The Wit and Grit Podcast.
We're here to share our sports betting picks, insights, and strategies, but this is for entertainment purposes only. We're not financial advisors or professional handicappers, and there are no guarantees in betting. Wager responsibly. Follow the laws in your area, and remember, bet at your own risk. If you need help, visit ncpgambling.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's the longest we've ever taken to get into the intro, I think.
It's almost like you forgot.
No. It was just a very meta opening. It was a very meta opening.
Fair enough. All right.
So the stats we were talking about, the Bills are underdogs for the first time in the playoffs. The weather is bad. I think I'm firmly getting in the Bills' corner to win this game. And I can't. It's all emotional, though.
I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. They're the home team. They're more used to playing in this weather. They're both. There's an MVP candidate on both. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are both MVP candidates, but I just let the Bills have the edge.
Yeah, I mean, I can't take back my Ravens first half pick, but I've still got my only teaser on the Bills to take them up to 7.5. And so in this weather, getting that kind of number.
Yeah.
Did you give us a Lamar Jackson primetime stat earlier this season already?
Lamar at night?
Yeah.
Well, Lamar in the playoffs is Lamar in the playoffs on the road is probably its own stat. Lamar is an underdog, which he isn't anymore. 12-3 against the spread, 19-1 in 6-point teasers.
Okay.
It's 6 times Lamar's opened as an underdog but closed as a favorite. He's 6-0 straight up and against the spread, covering by 9 points per game when that happens. So if you're playing just the spot and you don't look at the human elements of the game, it says Ravens. But if you look at the cold temperatures, Buffalo's performance, we've already seen them this year in the snow do well in this situation, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
they often do.
They ran all over the Broncos last week. They feel good. I don't know. It seems hard to bet against the Bills here in the full game. I think they're definitely a teaser candidate if we were going to throw them in a teaser. I already did one.
No. I like them to win.
Confidence.
Elliot, what do you think?
I don't know.
What do you think, Elliot? Who's
going
to win?
Coin
Pick
toss
one
for me, but I'd like to see the Ravens win. I like that he's favorited, and I think he's favorited for the reason, or the Ravens are favored for a reason. But I don't know, man. Josh Allen and these Bills, they play tight, and I mean they're pretty experienced in the playoffs now too. So it's just going to be a dogfight. I hope. I'm talking as a fan. I think all week. Just a disclaimer asterisk.
You think the concert I'm at, if I ask them to put the game on the TVs, they'll do it?
No.
Which concert?
He's going to a concert. He's going to miss the games. I would be selling that ticket.
I really want to go.
They'll come back.
Maybe.
Wait, which game? Just Sunday, right?
Just Sunday night. Just Baltimore, Buffalo. Yeah.
Oh, the one that's potentially not going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
So if you
I'll
think
make sure to have a fully charged phone. I'll be checking in.
Do you think we could do a let me walk you through this. Here's a teaser for you. Chiefs 2.5, Lions 2.5, Eagles even, just have to win. Bills plus 7.5.
Yeah.
That's just teasing the sides we like on all the games except for the Texans. It's a teaser, so it's plus 260. It's stuck.
That's
if you wanted to parlay those all together, if you think all those spreads actually cover, which I doubt it, like I told you, the Chiefs and the Lions, if they cover in this weekend, it'll be the first time two spreads that large have covered in 16 years. 16 years. That's a driver's license in most states. That's a record that could be in line in front of us at a Burger King. Okay. But anyway, yeah, you'd get 11, almost 12 to 1 if you put them all on a parlay because it's not going to pay out. I don't know if I made that clear yet. I just don't think you were hearing me on Wednesday, so I feel like I got to hammer it home.
Hey, this podcast has hit a quad digi before, Ian.
Yeah, but not on a thing that hadn't happened in 16 years.
I mean, it was a thing that hadn't happened in 16 years.
No, there's no way to know that. It was just 3.
Well, then don't say it.
Week. I know mine.
Got him. So,
boys.
Ellie,
yes,
our host left. It's just me and you.
Oh, I was like building some parlays here, checking.
What do you got going on?
No, just goofing around on what we were talking about with the home parlays, victory parlays and stuff like that. But I have to just double check them because in Florida, here in Florida, we have the Seminole Hard Rock betting app, so our lines are always a little bit wonkier than what we say on the show.
Gotcha. Hey, Ian's back.
I didn't go very far.
We missed you though.
Guy? I put in the teaser. I did the teaser on all 4 sides. I did a half unit.
You just had to walk away to do it.
Yeah. When I walk away, you're supposed to cover for me. Not
we did. Don't worry. You'll see.
Well, you should say.
Chatting.
When will I see? I'm not going to edit this. This is only live.
Whatever.
It's like, all right. So, I mean, we've pretty much covered every game. The Commanders and Lions game, we haven't really touched on enough. It's really interesting to me that this is 50-50 on the money and 51-49 on the bets. Like, it's like right there. Like, it's not, I thought the Lions were going to be a heavy favorite. People are not. People think the Commanders are going to come in and do it.
It's that thing with kind of like we talked about last week or earlier this week. They've got the Commanders have that kind of like Bengals vibe about them right now, where it's like people are kind of thinking this team is capable of anything, which is pretty scary.
Yeah. But I mean, aren't we all in agreement that we think the Lions are going to win this game?
Absolutely.
So I don't understand.
They're going to cover the spread.
Are we on an island?
By thinking that
island play? Is this an island play?
No.
If it is, then this has been an island I've been comfortable on all season long, and I don't intend on leaving.
You know what they say about islands?
Don't leave.
Sharp action is on the Ravens, just so you guys know. But
that's what you pivoted back to that one real fast.
There's only 4 games. I feel like I can just go in and out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hey, you asked for permission forever, just going in and out of places, man. I would say though, stranger things have happened than the Commanders win, right?
Yeah, well, it's on par with the 2021 Bengals going to the championship. Who did they beat that year? Nobody remembers because nobody remembers the losers. So if the Commanders win this game, no one will remember that the Lions were the 1 seed and lost.
I don't know.
Forget them.
I think it'll be a big story in Detroit, like the Lions are the Lions. Lions being the Lions.
Well, you're going to be good for a while. Jared Goff's not going to die tomorrow.
You better hope not.
I hope not. Viral for the wrong reasons.
Just for a fun game somewhere.
I'd love for them to cover, but then I'd love for the Lions to win by 3. So I want the Commanders to cover 9.5, and I want the Lions to win by 3. That would be a good ending. The Lions win on a field goal.
The Lions will definitely win.
Because it'll cover the teaser, and then it'll cover my Commanders bet. Win-win. Call me middleman.
I think our championship games are Philly at Detroit and Buffalo at Kansas City.
So who do we like in those games? Hypothetically.
If those are the championship games?
Yeah.
I would say
you're gonna say Chiefs Lions. You already made your own picks.
Yeah.
You told us
you're exactly right. Yep.
Yeah. Do we think the Eagles could upset the Lions in Detroit? Because I think they could. They're going to have to look a lot better in this game, and it's going to be in the snow because last week they looked a little off. I would not take them against the Lions the way they looked last week, but Hurts is back in the rotation. He's getting back in rhythm. Saquon's fine turning it on. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how dominant the Lions are. If the Lions squeak by the Commanders, if the Eagles crush the Rams,
that'll be interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Or
go ahead.
Or an alternate reality as we get the NFC East Championship we never thought of with the Eagles hosting the Commanders.
That'd be crazy.
But that's what I was going quiet, trying to figure out different paths and what they would be like. But if somehow the Commanders overcome the Lions, I think they go in confident and
Philly smacked them around earlier this year, though.
It
was closer the second time. But
if the Commanders and the Rams both win, wouldn't Washington host the championship game?
No. Wait.
The Rams?
Yeah. I think they would.
That'd be crazy.
No, I'm just dreaming. I said, I gave my disclaimer. I'm just fantasizing today.
Well, I guess I'll say this. I already did a story on it locally, but how do the Commanders like to celebrate winning that first playoff game in 20 years? They had Mama Jean's from Roanoke, Virginia, go up there and cater lunch, did a private lunch for them. So they got some good Southern barbecue before they got on the plane to go to Detroit. So
nice.
If they win this game, eat more barbecue. That's all I'm saying.
Or even if they don't, you should eat more barbecue. It's really good, especially from Mama Jean's.
I'm gonna go get some meats today. Rub on some meats today. Yeah, maybe I'll barbecue something tomorrow.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna be watching the games at home. I'm gonna be staying in. We've got a stomach bug attacking the household. I'm holding firm, but I don't want to go out in case I could give it out. It's going to be interesting.
You're such a product of the pandemic, Ian. Let that trauma go. Get other people their antibodies. I'm just kidding. I don't have an opinion on that.
Let's go to my favorite alternate reality, the Chiefs losing to the Texans. So if the Chiefs lose this game and the Texans win, what do the Texans host?
No, definitely not.
Oh, yeah, Bills, Ravens. Either of them would host.
Yep.
Yeah, reseeds. Which I hate.
Well, if the Bills win, they would definitely host. They're the 2 seed. But are the Ravens below the Texans or are the Texans above the Ravens?
The Ravens had the better record.
Oh, yeah, the Ravens won the North. Yeah, that's right. For a minute, I forgot whether they were one of the wild card teams or not because it throws it off. Like if the Pittsburgh Steelers were here, they would get nothing.
Yeah.
That would be interesting, but I don't know. Do we think the Texans could go all the way? Could the Texans take down the Chiefs and the Bills?
Absolutely not. If they did, then it's a new CJ Stroud has announced himself as like the new guy, like the new superstar, but it's not going to happen. So you don't have to worry about it.
I disagree.
If it happens, if it happens,
it shows the defense wins championships and the pass rush was there.
If CJ plays well, then
everyone looks at it like a fantasy football game. There's 53 men on the roster. The defense is a big part. That's how the Rams coasted to victory over the Vikings. That defensive line was great.
It would take CJ playing well too, though.
Maybe.
No, you're both right. Like, I think there's two come to stage moments. Like, you both have to click, and then if they win this game, it's like, okay, you guys are those guys that we thought in the back half, because they didn't quite click together in the first half, and that's how they half of the season. So they have that 10-7 record, but like these past 4 or 5 weeks when both of them been clicking, and if they can do it under the pressure of the Chiefs game, I mean they're dangerous, and they'll be like both on that stage on a good way. I don't think their path will be as easy as the Commanders side, though. Like, if they manage the upset this week, I think the Eagles are a little bit more manageable than the Texans taking on like the Bills or the Ravens.
Well, yeah, because the Commanders have played the Eagles twice this year already.
Yeah,
like they know.
No, for sure.
The devil, right? And we talked about it when we bet the Commanders against the Eagles the second time. The first time the Eagles beat them up bad, it didn't start happening until like halfway through the third quarter or the fourth quarter. When they started going for it on fourth, it just didn't go their way, and the game was gone. But the second time they kept it close. I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah. The Commanders might be exactly who they want to see. They may not want to see the Rams.
Right. Yeah, just for bracket Cinderella storying, I like the Commanders' path line. I think it's a more probable. But
it makes me think a lot about Donovan McNabb with the Eagles, the year that the Tony Romo and the Cowboys, they were like the third time they were meeting up in the playoffs. Everyone made a really big deal. It was like the third time. Can you beat a team 3 times? And it's like, because it's the Eagles, maybe that's why I'm associating it with this situation, but it's just like, it feels a little bit like that. Of course, you got to beat the Lions. Is the Lions Commanders the best player prop game because they're inside?
Probably.
Like, people probably are looking at all the other games and trying to get juice, but it's like when you look at the weather, it's so unpredictable. You're better off just taking like Lions and Commanders you trust. I might do a Jahmyr Gibbs and a Austin Eckler parlay or something.
Terry McLaurin likes to get in the end zone.
Do the Lions have anyone that could stop them?
I mean, they've got a bunch of professional football players.
What? This whole time? That's what I'm saying. They don't have anybody that you're like super worried about in the secondary right now.
No.
All right, well, I think snapping myself out of the fantasy, by the way, these games are going to be blowouts. Like, the Lions are just a much more professional football team right now. Sorry not to crap on anyone's parade.
I've been saying every home team. In fact, every home team against the spread, probably.
Just that won't happen, though, apparently, because 16 seasons.
We will see.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where is it going to fall apart and what's going to be left? Ooh. Give me the crumbs. I don't care how it crumbles. Give me the crumbs.
Just on the argument that we think that the Lions and the Chiefs cannot both cover, just due to history, right? Which team is more likely to cover? The one that's inside that got the surprise wild card team of the Commanders coming in, or the one that has a team that went deep in the playoffs last year with this same coach and team, and it's going to be teen-digit cold? You know, it just feels like all the volatility is going to be an Arrowhead. The Lions, the way they play, if they come in, Dan Campbell got that team ready for a game they did not need to win before the Vikings game, and they played hard. So he's got this team playing. So the question is, how much can the Texans upset the Chiefs in that game? I don't know. It might come down to a field goal. It'll probably come down to some ref call that goes the Chiefs' way per usual. But I just don't know if it's going to be 8.5. I don't know. That's the one that would worry me if you were going to try to take all the home teams. And it's first up, so
yeah,
I could be wrong by dinner. And it's just from watching the Chiefs really closely. And I know what people are thinking. He's a Broncos fan. He doesn't like the Chiefs. With my wrapped for my picket, it said the team I won the most money on was the Chiefs last year, because I know when they're going to win, when they're not going to win. I might be wrong about them. They might come in and just blow the doors off the Texans and want to make a statement, but I just feel like they're going to come in, play conservative, grind it out, win by like 7.
I don't know. I see double digits.
I mean, unless Tyreek Hill got traded back there. Did they trade Tyreek Hill back?
No, nope.
We'll see. I'd like to see Joe Mixon get a lot of play in that game and just grind the clock down.
He's gonna have to.
Mm-hmm.
I heard rumors he's going to play for the Heat, actually, to fill a void with Jimmy.
Joe Mixon?
Joe Mixon? Oh, wow. That's crazy. That'll be good.
That
That's
is
a good transition. That way he can go from...
Tyreek. They're just Jimmy's going to go catch balls for Tua, and then Tyreek's just going to start streaking down the court with the Miami Heat.
Are they going to trade Jimmy Butler?
They almost have to. This is what he does. He wrecks organizations to get out.
Yeah, he burns it from the inside out.
Yeah.
Should have known when he started changing up his outfits and his hairstyle, he was trying to take it down. Who wants Jimmy Buckets, though?
Everybody. I mean,
not the Nuggets, probably.
For the quick win, I think it's you just sign him on real quick and then just dish him off. Like, oops.
You put him in LA. Or, you know who could really use him is the Cavaliers. He might be able to help lift them to the next level with Donovan Mitchell.
Someone from work was talking about it, so I don't know how valid this is, but a trade to get him over the Heat, or not the Heat, sorry, the Suns.
Yeah.
Like Bradley Beal, like a trade there, but I think Bradley Beal has a trade block clause or something like that. But
Bradley Beal is always a subject of trade talks. They're always trying to send Bradley Beal somewhere, man. He's just like, I hope he doesn't buy homes everywhere he goes.
No, I think he has a no trade clause, meaning like I think he wants to just sunset his career, no pun intended, in Phoenix
with the Suns.
Yeah,
sunset with the Suns.
Right,
his career.
If we're talking basketball, we need to talk about how Westbrook looks so much better with Jokic than he did with LeBron. Like they didn't know what they were doing with him in LA. He might make the starting roster soon. Right now he's definitely a candidate for 6th man of the year. I mean, both of them pulled off a high triple-double. It was the first time that had been done in like 40 years.
Is that right? I feel like he averages triple-doubles.
No, it was like they both hit really high point triple-doubles. It was it was one of those micro stats that they used on social media.
I just can't believe Ellie broke news of Joe Mixon to the Heat.
No.
Wait. He's not even
Tyreek
that tall.
Hill to the Heat. Tyreek Hill to the Heat.
He's not even that tall. How did he get over there? How did he get there?
That's funny.
All right, guys. Well, that's about all I have to say about the playoffs.
Yeah.
Other than that,
these games are fast approaching.
Everything we've talked about is avoid player props when it's messy weather. That's how the sports books are trying to take your money. They're offering you boost for a reason. It's a trick. Back sides because somebody can always come in for the injured person. And look out for these over-unders because there's always somebody talking about a snover. A snow game over. A snover. Yeah. You'll see people on X talking about snovers, and it's
Philly, right?
Got to be it could be Philly, but it's got to be very specific situation to be a snover.
You know, with the weather and everything, with the weather situations, if there is like especially like snow, might have a missed extra point or something here and there, might have a team that needs to go for 2, maybe like a half unit on like an octopus bet somewhere could be fun. You know, the same player that scores the touchdown scores a 2-point conversion. Those pay out crazy. But
but that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like the temptation's hitting you live on air right now. I just said
I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying it's worth thinking about more in snow games.
I remember somebody for the Super Bowl. For the Super Bowl, people were doing an octopus bet for Brock Purdy.
It's wild.
It didn't pay out, I don't think.
They almost never do. It's a bad bet. It's a bad bet.
They want the Super Bowl to be 2 weeks after the last game to give people time to fantasize and dream up this magical game and put all their money in it. It's a money grabbing scheme.
Yeah.
Player health. We got to rest them up. This is the only game you guys cared they were rested for. The Chiefs haven't played since Christmas. They haven't played a game since Christmas with their starting lineup. Think about that. It is January 18th. But they had to play 3 of those games in 10 days before that. So, that's going to be an interesting thing to watch because it's never happened to teams before. And we get to see a team that's supposed to be a heavy favorite come out cold after having to be hot for so many days in a row. I mean, sort of like at 4:30 today, it's sort of like a science study.
Yeah.
Like if the Chiefs look flat, it's because they used it all up before Christmas and couldn't get it back.
Well,
we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to the games for sure.
Now look who's dreaming. That's me. I'm dreaming. I would lose all these bets if the Chiefs could lose this game. I want that to be known.
Do we have any disclaimer that we need to wrap up with, Ian?
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, ncpgambling.org. Gamble responsibly. Follow the laws in your area. The hosts of this podcast are based in Virginia, Florida, and North Carolina and comply with the laws in those states. Follow me on X, Hammered Ian. Follow me at Action Network Picket at Ian Price. That one's more nuanced.
I'm on X at Sean Dizer.
And I'm at ELLIESAK at Elisack on X.
Yep. And they're both tagged on their head-to-head bet when we posted the Wednesday episode.
Ooh.
So easy to find. If you find mine,
Nice.
you can just go right down. I tagged them both right there.
Enjoy the game. Boy.
That was the tackle. All right.
There we go. David Carr.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Peace.